my FPL Game Week 1 Haaland Draft. In this video, guys, we're going to be taking a look at a Haaland Draft I created especially for you guys, which you can actually bench boost as well. And then we're also going to be asking the question as whether or not can Gyokeres cover Saka, and we're going to get a tip from the FPL Force as to whether or not to go with Haaland or Salah. So without further ado, let's get into it. So here's a stat for you guys. Over 70% of you guys watching are not subscribed. Now let's make a deal. So in the next few minutes, if you guys get the value that you're looking for from this video, please do me a huge favor and hit that subscribe button. It would honestly make a huge difference in helping me and my one-man team bringing you guys more content throughout the season. So sounds like a deal? Let's get into it. Alright guys, I gotta drop the bars from the get-go. So let us reveal the team as it is. What I've done is I've put this in the bench in the actual order, so you can see that it is who I will actually be benching. So for my Haaland draft, I have in goals Sanchez from Chelsea, pairing up in the defense there with Cucurella, Milinkovic, as well as Pedro Porro. In the midfield, I have Kudus, Ndai, Wirtz, as well as Mitoma, and strike force Haaland, of course, the captaincy, João Pedro and Gyokeres, who's just come in at 9 million. On the bench, who I'll be bench boosting is going to be Sells, Anderson, and Udogie. As I mentioned, this is in the formation of starting 11 with bench, so you can actually see who I'm going to be benching. And I think with Brentford necessarily losing pretty much their best players, I think that Nottingham Forest can walk away there with a actual clean sheet when it comes to Sells. Anderson, a king of defensive contributions, aka Defcon. Udogie there doubling up with Pedro Porro when it comes to defense. I think Burnley is the weakest of the teams that have come up, and they're not necessarily the best in attack. They're more defensively focused from my research. So I think in terms of when it tripling up on Tottenham, I think you'd rather go defensive minded there. So that's why I've gone with Udogie. That could easily be Van de Ven, who could also be good for defensive contributions, and then De Kuiper there. Pretty much the player who has been hyped a lot, and I will be honest, I have jumped onto that hype train. But if essentially the hype is the fact that he's a really highly attacking defender, if anything, I'd actually say the hype is almost as much as the way Munoz is attacking in his defense. This is De Kuiper, who plays on the left, a Belgian player. So yet to see. I am keeping an eye on preseason as well, but that is my Haaland draft. Before we go any further, let us hear from the FPL Force. Who is the better option to go with when it comes to building a draft of Haaland or Salah?
Silence as the FPL Force brings wisdom. Haaland or Salah? A dilemma whispered through the realms of managers. But in the archives of the Force, clarity reigns. Haaland is a shield of safety and a blade of damage control. His captaincy potential makes him the tactical anchor of most early drafts. Salah is a risk for glory and might reward the brave if Haaland falters. But early momentum often hinges on damage limitation, not creative gambles. So, Game Week 1 belongs to Haaland. Let Salah re-enter the arena once his form stabilizes and fixtures turn. Begin with balance. The Force rewards measured aggression. To learn more from the FPL Force, one must subscribe to the channel. May the green arrows be with you.
Now I think let's talk about Gyokeres and whether or not he can cover Saka. So, can Gyokeres cover Saka? Now, we don't know yet when it comes to penalties, of course, but Mikel Arteta has said that it's going to be up to the players. His penalty record is impeccable. He had like the most amount of penalties taken last season for Sporting, which was 19, and he banged all of them in. In all honesty, I think a few might be given to him if he hasn't started scoring in the first few games. But I think I think eventually they'll go to Gyokeres, and I think it's essential when it comes to strikers, just getting into that momentum of scoring goals. So I think eventually it will be handed over. Can he cover Saka without the penalties? I think he can. At 9 million, I think it's a steal with his record of goal scoring. Can he match it in the Premier League? I mean, if he just scores half of the goals that he scored in the Portuguese League, and not just the Portuguese League, but including his performances in the Champions League as well, he's definitely a 20-goal season striker. So you couple that with the fact that Arsenal's a very good team. It's really about him being a tactical fit within the team, and I think I see him a lot more the way Pep uses Haaland, in the sense of him being very central, not necessarily having to glide to the left or glide to the right. And if that's the case and the balls are always continuously coming in, you'll definitely find him highly involved with goals, either assisting or actually scoring those goals, because in the end of the day, the ball ends up in the box. So I think Gyokeres can actually cover Saka. That is my opinion when it comes to that. Now, let's discuss the picks a lot more again when it comes to bench boost here. I think when I created this draft, for me, I really wanted to see whether or not, firstly, can you create a Haaland draft where you can bench boost? And with this one, I think you definitely can. When it comes to the goalkeepers, I was surprised in discovering the Sanchez and Sal's rotation actually works really well. So if you are looking for a goalkeeper rotation for after game week 1 bench boost, I think this one works really well. With me wanting to really wildcard later, and that's the thing when it comes to bench boost. A lot of people are thinking, okay, cool, I'm bench boosting now, but that means I'm going to wildcard. I have to wildcard probably game week 3 or 2. I wanted to create this bench boost so that you don't have to wildcard in game week 2 or 3. I think with managing your team, meaning making transfers, as much as we all do want to roll out transfers and probably reach that magic number of 5, which I never did last season, I think you can definitely manage this team, especially for the first 6 game weeks with these players, and rotating them as well. Again, a lot of the players here can be moved to different ones. There's really a great, when we go into the defense, Pedro Porro, 5.5, he can move to Arsenal defender there, whether it be a Timber or it be a Ben White, Timber being out right now. Same with Mikalenkovic. I think he's got great fixtures actually going all the way to game week 6. I think out of them, he's probably got one tough fixture. Cucurella as well. When it comes to Chelsea, they got a good fixture run right now. And then, of course, Kudus, same as Pedro Porro with their fixtures as well. He's also attacking, so I think very much okay, but it's really going to be whether or not he kicks off in the league in that position wherever he's going to be playing. In the last preseason, I did see him playing on the right with Brendan Johnson playing on the left. So that was interesting. I believe Kudus is a left footer as well. I'm not sure what Brendan Johnson is. I think he's right footed. But yeah, we'll see. Talisman when it comes to Everton, also the penalty taker, as we know of. He's got good favorable fixtures in the first few fixtures as well, so happy to have him there in the midfield. Wirtz is the one with the most difficult fixtures. He can easily become a Mamouche from Man City. But the reason why I have him in this squad necessarily is because he's one of the players which I don't want to have to find myself scruffling to try and get to if he really kicks off in the beginning of the season. And that's really much the same as the Kuiper, and why I favor him so much in that 4.5 category, because of the hype that he is. And I feel like we could find up if he does kick off as well. The Kuiper end up at 5.0 at the end of the season, and I want to get him cheap while I still can, because Brighton is really a good team. Firstly, secondly, they're not necessarily bad defensively. I don't see him as a CBIT, defensive contribution, DEFCON, aka DEFCON type of a defender, but I'm more so really into the defenders who can be highly involved in goals, whether it be assisting or actually scoring as well. So Wirtz, I think, regardless of the fixtures being tough, being in a good team like Liverpool, I think if he kicks off, he could be very much fixture proof. The question as to whether or not he can cover Salah the same way I question whether or not Gyokeres can cover Saka is a big one, because Liverpool have gone crazy in the transfer market when it comes to bringing in Wirtz, and I think bringing in Ekitike, and right now they're still considering, as the time of recording, bringing in Isak, and it's looking likely. But when you bring in that much firepower, you have to beg the question as to whether or not the goal share is going to be spread amongst those players. And we can't forget Gakpo as well, who's also a really good player. So I don't think that Salah will score as many goals as he did previously, but he might have more assists. So he'll still be very highly impactful. The question is how many goals and assists can Wirtz get, as well as seeing where he is positionally. He's been played in the 9 role, but of course we all know him to be very well in the 10 role. So I think he might be replacing Szoboszlai, and he could also play on the left as well, and have Gakpo play through the middle. I think they'll be rotating, really, if you ask me, regardless of where the team sheets show him to be sitting in the midfield. So that's my idea when it comes to Wirtz and whether or not he can cover Salah. I think we're just really going to have to see throughout the season, but also 8.5 is a steal. It really is a steal, and I think if you got a Haaland draft, then you'd rather have Wirtz over Mamouche right now, knowing that Mamouche and City and Pep Guardiola have that Pep roulette going. So yeah, that's just my verdict there. Then going on to Mitoma, another one who is the highest goal involvement when it comes to Brighton. Also a really great player, talisman of the team. Of course, not on penalties for them as well, but with his goal involvement and how good Brighton is, I'm really happy to have him above all the other 6.5 options that are out there as well. Then Anderson, of course, a king when it comes to defensive contributions, aka DEFCON, which is what I'm going to try and refer to as from now on. So for me, I think with DEFCON, guys, we have to look at it as previously in the previous seasons, we always had that 4.5, 5.5, 5 million midfielder or defender who really was a waste sitting there on our bench. And when it came to our team having to face a tough game week where we're playing hard games, or one of our talismen have hard games, which we know, our 4.0 or our 5 million or 5.5 midfielder defenders can play and has a better fixture. I feel DEFCON has resolved them being useless in the sense of just bringing them on for those 2 points, or just sitting on the bench and having to play your player who's got a bad fixture even though your other one who's got a better fixture. I feel like now you can bring in that Anderson, you can bring in that 4.5 defender, and with the DEFCON they can actually walk away with 4 points when it comes to the defense, and maybe even with bonus as well, even though they've conceded, because the bonus point system as well has been adjusted when it comes to tackles made. So they used to subtract for tackles that were not lost, but like were not successfully made. And for successful tackles, what they've done now is they don't subtract now when a tackle is not successful. They basically just continue to add, and those coupling up, of course, with defensive contributions, you can imagine a defender's bonus points based line can really increase, and you can end up with a defender who has conceded but actually end up walking away with 5 to even 6 points. So same with the midfielder, even though they've maybe a clean sheet, they could walk away with 5 points, and 5 points really is good. Because on a regular time that would be in the previous season that would have been a 60 minutes plus an assist for your midfielder. So that, yeah, I think if Anderson could walk away with just 5 points in this first game week, for me, that's job done, you know. So yeah, that's what I like when it comes to DEFCON, and I think that's how we need to see it, as well as the fact that it's really a long game. It's not necessarily a short game type of thing where it's like, hey, I'm looking to just get DEFCON points and it should really boost me up now for the game week or the next 2 game weeks for the month. It's really an accumulative thing, because at the end of the season, you know how you've missed out on a rank just by that 1 point or the 2 points. Now that's what you can actually get it on, and so just having that player really is best if you're going to play him continuously as well, knowing that you have a spot or you don't have money to actually upgrade that player. Having somebody like an Anderson in the midfield, Caicedo, I think Idris Gay from Everton in the defense, Mikalenkovic from Murillo, and Tarkowski yet to play in pre-season, but yeah, he should be coming round, and from what Moyes said, he should be playing the last game before the season starts. Then going into the strike force, I think Haaland, nothing to talk about. It's Haaland. João Pedro, for me, I've been hesitant with keeping him in, only because I'm starting to get cold shivers about him and his minutes. I did watch the Club World Cup. I was there. Not there, but I was like just watching. I was full in watching, and the guy was magical, man. Like, even in the minutes he did play, like he didn't need any more. He was scoring goals from the get-go, involved from the get-go, could walk off the pitch at 70 minutes and like, you good with the points? Like, nah, it's fine, take him off, it's fine, it's good. But you know, this is the Premier League, you know, so if there is a player I will change in the strike force, it would be him. The lap is at 6.5. They have played together at the same time, but not necessarily started. So that's one to monitor. They don't have necessarily preseason. I think they got 2 games which are going to be played like in the same day. And that's really going to be highly squad rotation, I think, just to give the guys a couple of minutes before the game, before the Premier League starts. And that's really because they played in the tournament as well, of course, went all the way through. That's also including City. So there is a chance there, you know, that those players aren't necessarily up to speed, a chance. But I doubt it, considering the fact that they had a whole tournament and, you know, they're just having their break now. Definitely going to be training later on. So if anything, they should actually be more up to speed than any other team. So yeah, I think that rounds it up, because we have seen, we have spoken about Gyokeres. But if you guys are interested to see what my current draft actually looks like right now, then you guys should check out this video over here, which I have done. and this shows my actual current draft right now, which doesn't have a Haaland or a Salah as well. So I'll see you guys in that video. I hope you like this video. Please make sure you hit the like button and subscribe as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace.